So today we're reviewing Best Christmas Ever. I'm going to read a script. I'm going to read a line from the script. I just feel like no one's life can be that perfect. There's no way you're telling the truth about all of that. And scene. If I ever have a friend, parentheses, come to me and say some toxic stuff like that, friendship is over. Like, basically the synopsis of the movie is that she ends up at one of her frenemy, played by Brandy, the lovely Brandy, ageless songbird, song Bible, Brandy. And then she comes to her house by accident because she let her son put the GPS directions in. And then she ends up at her house for Christmas, and she tries to basically divulge and try to investigate to see if her life is really perfect. First things first about the movie. And I'll go into my overall grade later. First things first. Why? My favorite phrase, let's get there. My favorite phrase is, we're all even. And what that means by that is that we all go through strife through life. Like, I haven't met a person, unless they lying. I have yet to meet a person that their life from birth through 30th, they've gone through nothing. Like, they're just hanging out. Nothing bad has ever happened to them. La 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 la. Everybody goes through something. It depends on what you make. It depends on what you make out of it. And honestly, like, some of y'all be like, I just feel like the world's against me. It's the devil. It be you. You the op. Like, you are the op. Like, I feel like I'm saying that word wrong. You know, I'm a millennial. But I was like, you the op. It's you. Like, every single time I've seen somebody like, oh, I'm not financially stable, or I'm not where I'm at, I was just like, why aren't you getting your certification? Why aren't you looking up payment plans for a certification? Why aren't you fixing your resume? Why aren't you Googling on what needs to be done for that job? It be you in the way. Like, I'm looking back on, just like in my 20s, I was like, there was a lot of times where Claire was in the way. It was literally her fault. Like, it was either me self-doubt or me it's either I had self-doubt or I felt like I didn't deserve that role, or I felt like I couldn't keep up with the work. It be you. You be the op. And the main character, I don't have her name memorized because I hate the movie. Sorry. The main character is basically saying like, oh, I was a scientist for A, B, and C, and I feel like, we just don't have the same life, and, her husband ain't as good looking. I mean, he's not bad looking. Like, her husband ain't as good looking as the spicy Latino from Mexico that Brandy is married to. And like, I just feel like we're all even. Because like, towards, spoiler alert, so basically she goes on a rampage, because plot's got a plot. She goes on a rampage for 90 minutes, thank God. She goes on a rampage for 90 minutes, and it's just the whole time is being like, oh, she's trying to basically discover like what's not perfect, because she's always talking about like her daughter is really smart and intelligent and all this stuff. And then she's adorable. Her glasses, oh my God, so cute. So cute. Her glasses are so cute. The little girl is so adorable. Anyways, but like literally, like she spends the whole entire movie looking, like trying to see like where what's not perfect and what's not perfect, what's fake, this and other. And I'm just like you weren't worried about your own household. Like, when I tell you, like, the number one thing that has led me to be more successful outside of YouTube in the real world, but one thing that has allowed me to be successful is that I worry about what Claire is up to. Like, I literally, like, that is my main job. Now, once I take care of Claire first, then I'm just like, oh, I wonder what this person's up to, or I wonder what that person's up to. I take care of myself first. And I feel like a lot of the times when you see somebody, this is a really good teaching lesson for this movie. But a lot of times when you guys sit there and you see on social media, you see the highlight reel of other people's lives, I was just like, you're watching their highlight reel and they're getting other skills. Like, I can't tell you the amount of times where you'll see somebody, they're just like, oh, that person think they all that. I was just like, you're that 30 minute time span you did to call your friend up, call this person up to go gossip about them. You could have applied at a job. You could have You could have applied at a job. You could have got another skill or started looking for certification payment plans. Like I said, things cost money. Like you could have did that same energy in that same amount of time. Like literally you the one who's standing in your own way. And I feel like the movie, like the pace of the movie as well, like I can never say like the pace of the movie was off. I do like that they were smart enough to release it around Thanksgiving because they know they wasn't gonna be able to compete with Hallmark is a beast. Hallmark, Lifetime Movie Network, like these other Christmas movies, they knew they didn't want to compete with those, so that's very intelligent of them on their part. But I just feel like the movie needed more. I feel like I wanted more action. I wanted less gab. So let's talk about major events throughout the movie without going line by line like I did this like in the earlier episode. So one of the first major events is that she's snooping through her stuff, and so she goes to the attic, and basically I guess Brandy was building like a replica of the house in Mexico for her mother-in-law. And so she came in the room and like uncovered it, and like when she walked away, she somehow knocked it and like crashed it and shattered it like a Christmas movie will. And so the husband was just like, is our life really that bad that you're so invested in somebody else's? Like, to me, honestly, like she kind of got off easy because afterwards Brandy's character was just like, I want you to stay for Christmas. Me, it would have been on site. It would have been on site. Like it literally would have been on site. Like any time I saw her, it would have been on site, period. Because my thing is like, you don't know what somebody's going through, which I'll tell later in the video, but you don't know what somebody else is going through. That some people use, like me, like I use my pain as a bridge, and I'm using this bridge to go towards success, right? Like other people use their pain as a crutch. You're walking slowly, you can't go anywhere, so I don't know. I just felt like that part to me should have been the credits should have started running to me, because that would have been in the movie. Like you're in my attic, breaking and entering. Sorry, my light fell. Yes, I have a light under me. But I was like, you're breaking and entering, and yet the movie continues. I want you to stay for Christmas. I was like, I don't know. Is her and Grinch gonna steal the Christmas tree too? Like this lady is bent on finding something wrong. So that's part one. So after all that's done, she's driving. I guess something happened with her job. The main meaty head blondie. Something happened with her job to where it's like she's got to go home, whatever, somehow in snow. I don't know. So she's got to go home, and so she's headed towards. So she starts headed towards town. Like I guess one of the angels from the play that they're directing for Christmas is like, oh, she needs extra attention or extra help around this time. And so once again, Miss Breaking and Entering comes back for a second round. And so she goes and she finds out that unfortunately, Brandy's first son passed away. They kind of didn't go into details, but Black people, we want to be knowing how they get to heaven. Does that make any sense? Like we want to know, and I don't know if it's like a Black people thing, but we want to know, but we don't want to make it obvious. But we want to know. Like I feel like it's fair. Okay, I would never ask, but like I be wanting to know, like how this person, especially if the person's young and they're healthy, like I be wanting to know how they ended up in heaven. I just want to know. But anyway, so she breaks and entering into her room again, and so Brandy finds her this time, and she's like, yeah, we just kind of just kept his stuff. His dream was to go on the air balloon. We want to do it for him, and I'm just like, on site again. Maybe it's because I'm a fire sign. It would have been on site. Like, you're breaking and entering on my son who's not here anymore room, and all because you're jealous. And I feel like at this point, this is when Blondie starts turning a heel, because she's like, dang, well, I know I'm not rich, but at least I have both my kids here. And I'm just like, this is what I'm talking about. What's wrong with this world today is the fact that y'all need to know if somebody's going through something to have compassion for them. You don't have compassion. You have pity. Big difference. Because you don't got to tell me about your situation to know you're going through something. Everybody has chapters they don't read out loud. Okay? But honestly, it would have been on site again. Like literally, It would have been on site. So we're gonna go into our overall review. My overall review for the movie is 1 out of 5. Like, the only reason why I didn't give it a 0 out of 5 is because brandy's in it, and I love me some brandy since '92. Mo to the E to the but honestly, no. Like, it wasn't even fun. And my thing too is like, if it's gonna be a tragic or whatever type movie, like at least I want it to be like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I want it to at least be fun or be like a classic I can come back and look like, for example, this Christmas, next Christmas, holiday Christmas, whatever, Best Man Holiday, like movies like that that you can come back and look at. But this one's gonna be a forgettable one. I'm glad to see Brandy acting again because I don't think I've seen her in a movie lately. So I'm excited for her. I'm excited for her. But the plot, she could only do so much with the plot. The plot was not giving at all. I don't know what happened. The person who played her husband, good job. But other than that, like there was nothing about this movie that was memorable. All I could think of was like literally I have written down here, horrible person. You're trying to tell me you're supposed to be my friend of how many years, and because I appear to be doing better than you, that you don't want to be my friend no more. Like, this literally, like I'm so glad they made this movie, because this movie is literally showing the ugly truth behind relationships, and it's showing the ugly truth behind relationships because a lot of people are only friends with you because they're doing better than you. And I want to be, like, I know it's going to sound weird, but I want to be the brokest person in the room. Like, I want to be the brokest person in the room. I want to be the dumbest person in the room, because I feel like if you're the best of the best, you're not going to grow. Like, I still remember when I was younger, and I already showed that I was like, math just made sense to me. I read numbers like they're letters. Okay, like math just made sense to me from a very young age. So they used to have this program called Math Superstars, and like basically it would challenge, like they would pick the top people in the school who was good at math, and they would have them do like these challenges each Monday morning for Math Superstars. And I remember one of the problems really pissed me off because I couldn't figure out. Here's me in first grade. I'm just like, I couldn't figure it out. And I remember my teacher was just like, "You're doing such a good job." I was like, "Why are you saying this?" She's like, "Because you see a challenge and you're not giving up yet." And I was like, "But teacher, like the math's not mathing. Also, I gotta go pee. You know, I'm in first grade." But I don't know. Like, I think it's just a really good example of like, a lot of us are in complacent places where we're not being challenged. Like, vice versa, with the movie. Like, the movie was literally basic. Like, I'm glad they didn't release it in theaters, but there was no challenging part about it. There was nothing that really like made us think or left us with, final thoughts for the day of the movie. Like, there was nothing there that like really made us, just like there was nothing that really made us think like, okay, this movie's gonna be a classic. Like, this is a throwaway movie. I get what they were trying to do with like the product. Like, it was something different, but honestly, you can watch it on Netflix, I believe so. And I want to say Hulu or Prime might have it. I don't know. Might be a non-compete. I don't know. But I know for sure it's on Netflix. It's number 1 on Netflix right now, as of today's date. We don't know how it's going to be later on, but like as of today's date, it's number 1 on Netflix. And it's probably because it's so ridiculous. I mean, a lot of the reviews, overall reviews, like a lot of the reviews were very much like, what's happening? Like, why did this happen? Who, is she okay? Like, was she held hostage to make this movie? There was a lot of that going on, but no, like, I think like if you want something to pass the time, yes, but it's not a movie I'm just like, oh my God, like this was really touching. We needed this movie. But one thing I can definitely say for sure, a solution is that we need more Christmas movies with people of color, because like I said, like as the little kid in me is like, oh my God, like there's like the main character is brown and they're not a sidekick. But the grown up in me is like, this is like really toxic. Like, if I had a friend like that, it's on site. It's on site again. It's on site again. Like, literally, like, people think because of the smile, I'm not about that life. I'm from Miami. I will mess you up. Okay? But don't forget to subscribe, share. It's Claire here.